This is Bob, and he's got a huge problem. Bob's standing on Wall Street Meadow in October 1929. The entire herd is losing their minds. Bulls are jumping off cliffs, calves are starving in the fields, and the prize bulls who promised everyone endless grazing, they're boarding trains to their country estates. While working cows fight over scraps of hay in the dirt, Bob's problem isn't just the stampede, it's what comes after. This is the Great Depression, explained. Not just the crash everyone talks about, but why it lasted over a decade. Why regular bulls lost everything while some prize bulls got even richer. And why nobody could stop it, even when they tried. Think of it like this: Wall Street Meadow in the 1920s. The Roaring Twenties. Grass is growing everywhere. Bullions are flowing. Every bull on the pasture thinks they're about to become a prize bull. New calves are being born. The herd is expanding. Life is good. But here's the thing about stampedes. They don't happen because something goes wrong. They happen because everything goes right. For too long. Bulls get comfortable. They start grazing on borrowed hay, buying pastures they can't afford with bullions they don't have, trading grass futures like it's a sure thing. The prize bulls? They're encouraging it. Buy more pasture. Graze on credit. The grass only grows up. Banks are handing out hay bales to anyone with hooves. Everyone's a genius when the sun is shining. Then October 1929 hits. One bull gets spooked. Then another. Then the entire herd realizes the grass they've been grazing on was bought with borrowed bullions, and suddenly everyone's stampeding for the exit at the same time. That's the crash. But Bob? Bob's about to learn that the crash was just the beginning. Here's how it was supposed to work. The stock market crashes. It's bad. Bulls lose money. But the economy is strong, right? America's got factories, farms, workers, resources. The pasture recovers. Life goes on. That's what happened in previous crashes. 1907, 1921. The market wobbled. Some bulls got trampled, but the herd recovered within a year or two. Recessions were normal, part of the cycle. The system self-corrects. So in October 1929, when Wall Street collapsed, the prize bulls weren't panicking. President Hoover told everyone the fundamentals were sound. Prosperity is just around the corner. The banks said it was a temporary correction, just a little stampede, nothing to worry about. Except this time, something was different. The 1920s boom wasn't built on solid grazing grounds. It was built on debt, on speculation, on bulls buying pastures with bullions they borrowed from other bulls, who borrowed from banks, who were gambling with depositors' hay. The entire herd was leveraged to the hooves. When the market crashed, it didn't just wipe out stock portfolios. It triggered a chain reaction that would destroy the entire pasture for over a decade. And yes, this is exactly as bad as it sounds. Here's where it gets worse than you thought. The numbers first. By 1933, unemployment hit 25%. 1 in 4 working cows couldn't find grazing work. Industrial production dropped 46%. The stock market lost 89% of its value. 9,000 banks collapsed, taking depositors' life savings with them. Bulls who'd worked their entire lives woke up with nothing. Now, who profited? The prize bulls? Many saw it coming. Joseph Kennedy, father of the future president, shorted the market and made millions, while regular bulls were jumping out windows. J.P. Morgan executives protected their hay. The Mellons, the Rockefellers, they bought up failing pastures for pennies on the bullion. Some of America's greatest fortunes were built on the corpses of the Great Depression. But here's the beautiful horror of it: the circular trap. Banks fail. Bulls lose their savings. They can't buy goods. Factories close. Working cows get laid off. They can't pay rent. Landlords go bankrupt. They can't pay banks. More banks fail. Repeat. It's not just an economic downturn. It's a self-feeding stampede into the abyss. And the government? They made it worse. The Federal Reserve raised interest rates during a collapse. Congress passed the Smoot-Hawley tariff, which killed international trade. President Hoover balanced the budget while bulls were starving. Every solution accelerated the stampede. This wasn't just America's problem. Germany, already crushed by World War I debt, collapsed completely. Austria's largest bank failed. Britain abandoned the gold standard. The entire global herd was trampling itself. International trade fell 65%. The Depression went worldwide. And here's the terrifying part. This had happened before. The Panic of 1873. 23 years of economic stagnation. But everyone had forgotten. They thought modern finance had solved the problem. Funny how that works out. The crash was October 1929. The Depression didn't end until World War II started in 1939. 10 years. An entire generation grew up in poverty. Calves born in 1929 were teenagers before the economy recovered. You know what fixed it? Not policy, not innovation. A war that killed 70 million bulls worldwide. This is what experts call a systemic failure. Bob calls it the pasture eating itself. Let's talk about what this actually meant for the working cows. Your family lost their farm. Not because they were lazy, because crop prices collapsed and they couldn't pay the mortgage. Banks seized 273,000 farms in 1932 alone. Families who'd worked the same land for generations loaded into trucks and dumped on the side of the road. You couldn't find work. Not because you didn't try, because there was no work. Bulls with engineering degrees sold apples on street corners. College-educated cows became hobos, riding trains, looking for any grazing grounds that would take them. Your savings? Gone. If your bank was one of the 9,000 that failed, your life's work evaporated overnight. No FDIC insurance. No safety net, just poverty. You got sick, you died. Hospitals required payment up front. No bullions, no treatment. Malnutrition soared. Infant mortality spiked. And the prize bulls? Rockefeller's wealth actually increased during the Depression. J.P. Morgan executives still got bonuses. The pasture might be burning, but the view from the country estate was lovely. And Bob? Bob's doing just fine, thanks for asking. His family had connections. What a coincidence. Here's what Bob learned. The Great Depression wasn't just bad luck. It was the logical conclusion of letting the entire herd graze on borrowed hay, while prize bulls made fortunes betting on the stampede. It was policy failures compounding market failures. A system designed to protect the pasture's elite while the working cows starved. It took a decade and a world war to fix. Not because the solutions didn't exist, but because the bulls in charge kept choosing the interests of Wall Street meadow over the interests of the herd. And if you think we learned our lesson, well, look around. The real question isn't if this matters, it's how long before the next stampede starts.